It started as a joke. Christmas Eve, alone in my parents' old house. They were in Florida that winter, and I'd stayed behind to study for finals. It was quiet, almost peaceful. Snow had been falling all day, and by evening the front yard looked like something out of a movie. Untouched, perfect. Around midnight, I decided to build a snowman. I hadn't done that since I was a kid, and maybe it was nostalgia or boredom, but it felt right. I put on my dad's old gloves, stepped into the cold, and started rolling snow. The air was still. The only sound was the crunch under my boots. I made the snowman tall, over 6 feet, and found 2 rocks for eyes, a stick for a mouth, a scarf I found in the closet, and an old carrot from the fridge. When I was done, I stood there a moment, looking at it under the streetlight. The snowman looked almost human. Its eyes seemed too dark. I brushed the feeling off, went back inside, and made hot chocolate. By 2 a.m., I was in bed, watching the snow fall outside my window. The snowman stood still in the yard, facing the street. When I woke up the next morning, it was different. The snowman was facing my window. At first, I laughed. I figured a plow or wind had shifted it, or maybe some kids were messing around, but the snow around it was untouched. No footprints, no signs anyone had been near it. It bothered me. I told myself I was overthinking, grabbed my phone and sent a picture to my best friend, Jess. "Nice one," she texted. "Creepy as hell, though." That made me laugh, and the tension faded. Until that night, around 10 p.m., the wind picked up. The trees outside were moving like shadows across my walls. I turned off the TV and went to the window. The snowman was closer. I froze. It wasn't right. It had been near the street, maybe 30 feet away. Now, it was at the edge of the front porch, still facing my window. My stomach twisted. I went downstairs, unlocked the front door, and stared into the dark yard. The cold hit me hard. It was there, perfectly still. I took a few steps forward, trying to see footprints, drag marks, anything. But there was nothing. The snow around it was smooth, untouched. I backed away and went inside, locking the door twice. That night, I barely slept. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to a sound. A low scraping, like something dragging across wood. It was coming from outside. I sat up, my chest tight, and listened. The noise stopped. The heater kicked on. I waited another minute, then forced myself to look out the window. The porch was empty. The snowman was gone. I turned on every light in the house. My hands were shaking. I checked the back door, the kitchen, the hallway. Nothing. At some point, I found myself standing in the living room, staring at the dark reflection of my own face in the window. My breath fogged the glass. Then, lightning flashed. For a split second, I saw it, the snowman, right at the base of the window, its face pressed up against the glass. I screamed and ran upstairs, slammed my bedroom door, and locked it. My heart was pounding so loud it hurt. I called Jess. She picked up on the second ring, sleepy and confused. "Jess, it's here." The snowman, it moved. "What? Are you drunk?" "I'm serious, Jess." It was at the window. She sighed. "You're freaking yourself out. It's Christmas Eve. You've been alone for days. Go to sleep." The call ended, but I didn't. I sat there till dawn, clutching my phone. When light finally came, I went downstairs. The snowman was back in the yard, standing where it had been the night before. But something was off. The rocks I'd used for eyes were gone. I spent the day trying to ignore it. Music, coffee, anything to distract myself. But every time I looked outside, I felt watched. By evening, I decided to destroy it. I didn't care how stupid it sounded. I pulled on my coat and went outside with the shovel. The snow crunched under my boots. The air felt heavier than before, like it was holding its breath. I raised the shovel and smashed the snowman's head clean off. It rolled into the snow and broke apart. I kicked the rest down until nothing stood but a pile of snow and sticks. When I turned to go back inside, I noticed something sticking out of the snow. Something pale, something that looked like skin. I bent closer. It was a hand. I stumbled back, my throat dry. It looked human, frozen solid. I couldn't breathe. The ground beneath the snowman wasn't snow. It was dirt. Someone had buried something here. I ran inside, locked the door, and called 911. The operator kept me on the line, said an officer was on the way. When I looked out the window again, the pile of snow was gone. Not melted. Gone. The cops arrived 30 minutes later. They searched the yard, dug through the snow, and found nothing. No hand, no body. They looked at me like I was crazy. Said it was probably a branch or the cold playing tricks. When they left, I sat on the couch, numb. It was quiet for a long time. Then I heard the scraping again, from inside the house. I followed the sound down the hallway, my flashlight trembling in my hand. It was coming from the back door. Something was scratching the wood from outside, slow, steady. I inched closer and saw frost spreading across the glass. A faint shadow moved on the other side. A voice whispered, low, raspy. Cold, so cold, I froze. My breath clouded in front of me. The temperature dropped like a wave. The glass fogged completely, then cleared for half a second, enough for me to see a face, pale, wet. Empty eyes made of stone, the snowman's face. I screamed and stumbled backward. The sound stopped. The frost melted. When I looked again, the window was clear. Nothing outside. I didn't sleep that night. When morning came, I packed a bag and left. I stayed with Jess for a week. When I came back, the snow was melting. The yard was empty. But the ground where I'd built the snowman was darker, softer. Last night, I dreamt someone was buried there. A woman, her lips blue, her skin cracked like ice. When I woke up, there were wet footprints in the hallway, leading from the front door to my bed, and outside my window, a new snowman, smiling, with eyes made of something that looked like mine. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And tell us in the comments which part scared you the most, and drop your ideas in the comments. Your idea might be our next nightmare.